What is happening, guys, and welcome back to G Light Travels. So in today's vlog I would like to share with you my top 3 travel tips on how to travel cheaply. So that doesn't mean necessarily just looking at the cheapest flight, the cheapest hotel, and so on, but it means about how to maximize your budget, how to get the best bang for your buck. So I've been traveling for around 20 years now, so I'd like to share with you some of the techniques and strategies that I've used in the past. Some of the places that I've travelled, including Southeast Asia extensively, Australasia, the Middle East, and around Europe a lot too. And there's plenty more countries that I'd like to travel to in the near future, which of course I will share with you on this channel. So without further ado, let's go into my top 3 travel tips on how to travel cheaply. Welcome back, guys. So for my first travel tip on how to maximize your budget and travel cheaply. So let's think, what's the first thing you do when you want to travel? You book a flight, okay? You'll probably book the flight before you book the accommodation. Well, at least that's what I do. And so what I usually tend to do is I go on a comparison website such as Skyscanner. I'll either type in the destination if I know where I want to go, or I might type anywhere for a certain dates, a certain number of nights, and see what the best deal is for those particular dates. I've also noticed that when you are flying, flights are particularly expensive on Fridays and the weekends. So if you can have some sort of flexibility in your dates, I'd advise to try and travel on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, because as a general rule, flights tend to be cheaper on those days. So as I was saying, I like to go on a flight comparison website such as Skyscanner. There's quite a few out there, but that's the one that I tend to use. And yeah, I just compare the flights from various airlines on that website. Then what I need to do is to try and surf anonymously. So by that I mean either using a VPN, making sure your cookies are turned off, so the airlines don't know that you're looking at that particular flight for those dates, because sometimes they may try and up the price a little bit. So then I will see which flight I wanted to select, and I'll go directly to that website, to that airline. I'll surf anonymously, and yeah, then the price will usually be as it's stated originally on Skyscanner. And there's another very good website that I've discovered quite recently called Jack's Flights. So you can be a free member on this website, and I think you'll receive 1 email a week with a really great deal. I mean, recently I just saw for £330 a direct flight from London Heathrow to Shanghai, and there's been some great flights to various locations around the world with Jack's Flights. You can also sign up to be a premium member. I'm not doing any affiliate marketing here, but just sharing with you this great site that I found. So yeah, go ahead and check out Jack's Flights. I'll put the link down below. And yeah, so that'll be my first travel tip on how to travel cheaply. Make sure that you compare flights from various airlines on a flight comparison. Make sure you surf anonymously, and then you should be able to get the best deal. Welcome back, guys. So for my second travel tip on how to travel cheaply, I would like to tell you how I go about booking my accommodation. So you've booked the flights, hopefully the way that I said in the first tip, and the next step obviously is to book the accommodation. So the way I go about doing this is that I will use a booking website. For example, I've been using Agoda for around 10 years now, and I've dabbled with a few other booking websites as well, hotel booking websites, but my feeling is that Agoda is probably the best one, or at least that's the one that I prefer. You used to get a points system on Agoda whereby you would make bookings, and for those bookings, depending on how much you spent, you would get a certain number of points which you could then redeem later. It turned out that you weren't really getting great value for money with that points system. You would have to spend like literally thousands of pounds or dollars in order to get any kind of decent refunds. But what I do these days is I tend to look at Agoda because it gives you a great overview of all the hotels in that particular area. You can also filter, so if you want a swimming pool, if you want a gym, number of rooms, number of beds, and so on, what area you want to stay in. So Agoda is really good for filtering exactly what you want to find. So then, yeah, you have two choices basically. You can either use Agoda, sometimes they have quite good discounts there, or you could select the hotel that you like, that you found on Agoda, and then directly contact that hotel. So you could either call them up and say, yeah, do you have any rooms available on such and such day, see what they are, and see if they're any cheaper compared to what Agoda states for the same hotel. You can also go to the website of that hotel directly, if they have a website, and compare that way as well. So yeah, that's what I tend to do for accommodation. So in my third travel tip, I'm going to tell you an even better way to book accommodation if you don't want to stay in a hotel. Hello guys, so I think I've saved the best till last with regards to my top 3 travel tips on how to travel cheaply. So I told you about how I go about booking flights, how I go about booking my accommodation, and now I'd like to share with you how I go about booking accommodation if it's not with a hotel. So unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years, you've probably heard of Airbnb. So Airbnb is basically a booking system whereby you can rent a room or a whole place, but it's not in a hotel usually. So similarly to Agoda, I like to use Airbnb because I can see what's available in a particular area, in a particular town or city, and then I can filter my results as to what exactly I would like. So again, if I want a gym, if I want a pool, if I want it to be kid friendly, and so on. You can either have just a single room in a shared place, or you can rent the entire place. The best thing about Airbnb is that consistently it's 10 or 20% cheaper than hotels in the same location. They also have a great discount system. So for example, if you're a new user, you can click on this link in the description and you'll instantly get £25 off, which equates to about $33 off your first booking. You can then send this link out to other people who haven't used it before, and they will get a discount as well as yourself. There's a few drawbacks from Airbnb, but to be honest, they're pretty minimal compared to the advantages in my opinion. For example, you don't get free breakfast as you would in a hotel. If you arrive late at night, it could be harder to connect with the host maybe, but quite often the host will leave keys with reception, or they'll leave them in some sort of security box which they'll tell you how to access. So yeah, so I've been using Airbnb consistently over the last couple of years, and yeah, 99.9% of the time I've had really good experiences with them, and yeah, I will definitely continue to use them. I mean, I always still compare hotels with Airbnb when I'm traveling, but yeah, Airbnb just always wins hands down, at least thus far. So yeah, so please check out the link for Airbnb below if you haven't already signed up with them, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So yeah, stay tuned because we'll be traveling soon to some interesting locations, and obviously I'll be sharing my experiences of those places. Bye for now.